Hi everyone, my name is Jimmy Smith and welcome to episode number 82 of the Rambler Podcast, where we are passionate about sharing what makes Cathedral Prep the standard of excellence. And on this episode of the podcast, I'm very excited to have Adrienne Kloecker Kalivoda here with me. Adrienne graduated from Villa Maria Academy in 2012 and is currently the funeral director at Kloecker Funeral Home and Crematory, a family-owned business deeply rooted in Erie. She's been a licensed funeral director for nearly 8 years, but her journey began long before that, washing cars and working funerals alongside her father and brother during high school summers. Today, she leads with the same values she was raised with: compassion, presence, and a deep commitment to helping families heal through some of life's hardest moments. A proud graduate of Blessed Sacrament School in 2008, I added Go Bulldogs because me and you share that together. I graduated in 2007. And she, as I mentioned earlier, she graduated from Villa Maria Academy in 2012. Adrienne was a part of 3 state championship basketball teams and a starter for Villa's 2011 PIAA state championship team. She went on to play collegiate basketball at Mercyhurst University, graduating in 2016 and scoring over 1,000 career points. What a career. Adrienne is married to Adam Kalivoda, another fellow Bulldog and prep class of 2012, and together they're raising 3 daughters, Teresa, Anne-Marie, and Julia. Adrienne is an active member of the community, serving on the board of directors for the Erie Catholic School System, the board of trustees for the Sisters of St. Joseph Mission and Ministries, and a parishioner and lector at St. George Church. And in everything she does, Adrienne credits her time at Villa for shaping her confidence, resilience, and heart for service. So, Adrienne, it's a pleasure to have you on as a guest. Welcome.
I am so excited. I'm so excited. I listen to this all the time, and it really connects me back to Villa and prep. And so I'm excited to talk about my time and how it shaped me to be the person I am.
That's awesome. Yeah. Well, it's fun to have you on as a guest because I've had some people on where when I sit down with them to do a podcast, it's the first time ever meeting them. But me and you, that's not the case.
We go way back.
We go way back to the Bulldog days, the days at Bixby Field.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah. So much fun memories to look back on that we share together, and obviously a lot of similar friend circles and everything through prep and Villa and all the way above. But yeah, and of course knowing our families and everything too.
Oh yeah, we do go way back. Oh my gosh, how many ices did we have at that Bixby Field?
Oh, those too many to count.
I still love it. Adam still buys those every once in a while.
Does he?
Yeah.
Of course.
Still a kid.
Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, so many fun times there and so many awesome memories. And now we were talking before we recorded, but now we're kind of both going through the same journey now as parents. You got 3, I have 4, and more on the way for you at some point.
Yes, maybe,
yeah.
God willing.
Yeah.
Who knows, but yeah, it's fun. Young adults, young parenthood is interesting, and we both have careers. So, I keep up with your Facebook posts and your wife's Facebook posts, and it's just like, okay, we're on the same page.
Yeah.
And your faith journey and all of that, and I feel like we are very similar in that way.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And it's funny, one of the questions I usually start off the podcast by asking somebody is, why did you decide to attend Cathedral Prep? Why did you decide to attend Villa Maria Academy? I think the question for you more so is, was there any even other option other than you're going to Villa Maria Academy?
I started thinking of this, and I remember going to the Mercyhurst open house.
Okay.
Just for the heck of it. And my aunt, Bernadette Carroll, and a couple of my other cousins went. And my aunt was going around the rooms going, Villa Victors, Villa Victors. And I just knew, I'm like, there's no way I'm going here. I'm going to Villa. But it was just funny that she just made it known. We're going to Villa. I don't know why we're here. But, going back, oh my gosh, I started to try to think of our history at Prep and Villa. I don't want to leave out Villa. But when I was a kid, I lived and breathed Cathedral Prep.
Yeah.
My favorite color is orange because of back when I was a kid, going to all the football games, basketball games, McDonald's Classic, Burger King Classic now. But we lived and breathed Cathedral Prep.
Right.
Because that's where my dad and my grandfather and my great-grandfather. Francis Sr. was the second graduating class of Cathedral Prep. Like, there was no way we were going anywhere else.
That's so cool.
I really thought I was going to be the first girl to go to prep. I would say it. I would say it to people. I'm going to be the first girl to go to prep. And of course, when the time came, that wasn't an option for me.
By what age did that hit that you realized, oh shoot, this might not actually be able to...
Yeah. I think it was more like 7th grade.
Yeah.
Maybe 6th grade. Once I was like, okay, girls don't go to prep. But when I was young, I don't know how old I was, but my dad always said I was the first water girl in Cathedral Prep football history.
That's got to mean something.
It always meant something to me. I don't know if it was somewhere. Sure, but
right.
He may have just been hyping me up. I don't know.
Yeah.
But so I always thought, well, I'm the first water girl. I'm going to be the first girl to go to prep. And that just wasn't the reality. So obviously, once it came time to actually decide where am I going, my mom went to Villa. All her sisters went to Villa. All my dad's sisters and cousins were a prep Villa family. Yeah. So there was no way I was going anywhere else other than Villa. And then, of course, basketball came into play. And basketball was my life. And, played all year round. And once 8th grade came, we had a really solid travel basketball team. And we're like, if we all go to Villa, oh my gosh, we're going to dominate. Like, my dad would always hype us up. We could win a state championship. This team could win a state championship. He would say that back when we were in grade school. If we stick together. And so once we went into high school, most of us did, but there were still a couple that didn't. Yeah. Like John A. Brooks and Lisa Mifsud. Those two went separate ways. And then they found their way back to Villa. And so that's kind of the cool part, that we did end up having that team I grew up playing with. Yeah. All go to Villa. Yeah. And, well, we know the results there. So yeah. It's pretty cool.
Pretty special memories for you guys being there together as grade school, going to the Villa together. That's really cool to hear before we jump to the basketball part of it. That's awesome to hear about your family history too, between prep and Villa. How you grew up, and I remember going to the prep football games with my dad, and we would go. Did your dad host the tailgates? Yeah. Across from that stadium?
So my dad
we would stop over.
And, he was the vice president of the football boosters. Okay. So he was in charge of the parties. Yeah. And even we would go on the bus rides. Those were a blast. Going on the bus trips to the football games, to the playoff games and all that. We would take a bus, and we loved those weekends. Oh my gosh, we would live for that. That's so cool. I had the prep football jersey. It had Hinkle on the back and Roach on the back when those kids were playing. Number 11, we got that from them. So my whole life I was number 11 because of football kids. That's so cool. It was like that was just ingrained in us. And everything I loved was orange, and prep was my thing. And then I found out. Prep is for boys, so I can't go to the prep.
And so after you got through the disappointment of that, you found okay, Villa is gonna work, right? That's still there. Part of the family legacy. Oh yeah, for sure. Family tradition, going to prep or Villa then. So then you're walking the halls as a Victor. Yeah. How soon did it take for you to just fall in love with the school? Probably that summer going into it. Yeah. Because I'm playing basketball and I'm with the team, and I'm, trying to prove myself. I always thought I was a good player in grade school, and then you go to high school and you're with the older kids and you're like, yeah, I need to really step it up here. But freshman year, I did not make varsity. And that hurt. Yeah. That hurt because I thought I was good. And there were a couple of my classmates that did move up to varsity. And I'm like, okay, what can I do here? And I always go back to what my dad was. We're really close. So it was like he was always there with me, practices, games. And so he said, I don't think this is fair, but what are you going to do about it? Are you going to sit and pout on the bench? Or are you going to change? You're going to work your butt off at practice, and maybe let's start lifting. Let's get stronger. Yeah. So that's what I did. And I really think that freshman year molded me into really who I am today. That hard work pays off. Yeah. And I even when I was coaching, I would say that to the girls because it's real in everything in life. Yeah. Hard work pays off. Yes, people have natural talent. Sometimes that talent is better than you. But there's a time where their talent just plateaus. And if they're not going to continue working hard, it's just going to stay that steady pace. And I didn't want to settle. And so I said, okay, this is my role this year. Yeah.
And once playoffs came around, I was moved up to varsity to sit
Sure.
the bench.
Yep.
I'm like, okay, this is my role. I know I'm not playing. Kayla McBride's a junior right now. No way I'm playing. But I'm going to work my butt off to prove myself and in the background.
Yeah.
But also, what's my role on this team right now? And that was to be the best cheerleader I could ever be on the bench.
Yeah.
To hype my girls up, to support them, to say, you got that next shot. The next one's going in. Let's go. And so I'll never forget one of the first times I was in the newspaper, on the sports page. It was me running out on the court, giving Kayla McBride a high five.
Oh, that's awesome.
So it's my back.
Yeah.
But I thought that was so cool. I'm like, I'm in the paper. Oh my gosh. But that was my
about
role.
Kayla.
It was about Kayla. But I was like, this is my role.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that.
Right.
But I'm not going to accept that for the long run.
Right.
So that freshman year was interesting. But of course, I dove in hard on Villa. Everything turned from orange to blue.
Right. Yeah.
And, I loved everything about Villa and just the community, and you're just part of something.
Yeah.
You guys talk about the brotherhood. Like, we had the sisterhood. And, I see a Villa Victor out, or I meet with a family at work, and I went to Villa, and I'm like, Villa Victors, I'm a Villa grad too. And it's just that common bond you have with so many people.
Yeah.
It's really cool to have. So freshman year was awesome.
Yeah. Well, I think it's so important too to see the atmosphere that both Prep and Villa has for creating champions, because your dad knew, hey, we can either you can sit on the bench, you can pout, like we can just kind of say, oh, this isn't fair, it's the coach's fault, whatever, and just accept defeat. But instead, he encouraged you, like, what are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
And if it, you could have looked to transfer to a different school. You could have said, you know what, I could be a starter at a different school.
And it's unfortunate that a lot of people do that.
And that, yes, because I know many of my friends who did transfer from Prep went to different schools because they weren't going to be a starter this year instead of doing what you did.
Yeah.
Hard work and
you wonder, that really has an effect in the long term. I think so.
Yes.
That those lessons that you learned during playing sports, those carry on with you the rest of your life. And when because I'm a coach as well. I was. I wish I could still coach, but kids kind of put me on hold for that. But when I was a coach, it's like, parents, stay out of it.
Yeah.
Stay out of it. Encourage your kid to keep working hard, but you got to let your kids fail and stumble and figure it out on their own do I really want this? Because if I do, I can have it.
Yeah.
I just have to work harder.
Right.
And I have to prove myself in practice, the behind the scenes. And it's unfortunate that a lot of kids aren't being pushed that way right now. And that hopefully I can be a parent like that, but it's going to be hard being a parent in the stands. I'll tell you that. It's easy for us
to say it right now.
It's going to be so hard. I know. Because I'm going to be like, I could coach better than that. And, you know how it's going to be.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. It's easy for us right now. If we're having this conversation 10, 20 years from now, you're like, oh, we were dumb.
Yeah, we were way off. My kid's the best. Why aren't they playing?
Oh, that's hilarious, but also probably pretty true.
Yes.
So basketball, obviously, big part of your Villa experience. State championships, amazing bonds that were formed, hard work. You mentioned playing like all year round, like basketball was your thing. One more note on the basketball part of it. What was that experience like? I mean, being a part of 3 state championship teams, obviously playing with Kayla McBride and all the other great players that were at Villa at the time. What was that experience like being on 3 state championship teams?
So, like I said, freshman year, I just sat the bench. Yeah. Sophomore year, pretty much the same thing. But I knew my role, and I knew it was so special, but I didn't know how special it was at the time. Looking back, you see, oh my gosh, like this was 1 in a million kids. Like, I don't even know the stat, but this is not normal.
Right.
This is not normal.
No.
And I did not have a normal experience. But by the 3rd year, it was normal.
Right. Yeah.
We're going to states this year. I mean, we were that confident, but the rest of the world saw us. Once Kayla left and that group, they were the whole starting 5.
Yeah.
They were gone.
Right.
And people doubted us. There's no way they're going to have a 3rd state championship. No way. Are you kidding me? And like I said, we were that group from grade school.
Yeah.
We always said, if this group sticks together, we can do it. Sure enough, here we were junior year doing it, making it through playoffs. And it just, every time we went to states, the whole community gathered around us, and it was like this huge hype for us.
Yeah.
Everyone was in it. Everyone wanted us to win. It was like, bring that championship home to Erie. And so, you know, the bus rides and just the way we were treated was just awesome. And I think Prep and Villa do that very well for the kids who go to Prep and Villa. But it's a once in a lifetime experience, and you need to make that an experience like that for the kids. And I think we do a good job here doing that. But it, you know, the first year, there's a video of me coming off the bus after we won the state championship, you know, behind all the starters. Yeah. But I had this orange video recorder, and I was just going around like, who knows where that video is? But again, orange.
Yeah.
Back to my favorite color.
Of course.
But it just was so cool just to experience that. And so then when junior year came and it was us, like the limelight, the lights are on us.
Right.
Oh my gosh. Like that was such a nerve-wracking experience stepping out on that floor, and it was like, okay, I'm not just a cheerleader on the bench this time.
Right.
This is actually, I have a part in this.
Yeah.
You know, the first state championship, I played 7 seconds. The next one, I played 14 seconds.
Okay.
The next one, pretty much the whole game.
Right.
You know, it just, I remember I turned the ball over one of the first couple plays in, and it was like so embarrassing. Like I had like 30-something fans of my family in the stands.
Of course.
Supporting me. And I would just like, okay, you got your jitters out, you made your mistake, now it's just a basketball game. You've played a million of these. Like, let's get back into it. And it was so cool. Oh my gosh. It was so cool. So then senior year, when we didn't make it to states, we made it all the way to the finals, to semi, to go to states. Oh, devastating. Oh my gosh. Because we were just used to going to states. That was our, I mean,
and
it was like no doubt.
A core of the team still from the junior year.
Oh yeah, it was still the same people.
Yeah.
And it just is like, oh, we're not invincible. So again, another life lesson.
I was going to say, yeah.
You can't become complacent on where you're at, and that's kind of what happened. And we had some injuries, I will say that, but can't make that as an excuse. You have people on the bench coming in, and we still were good. And funny story about that, the team who beat us, Seton LaSalle, I went to Mercyhurst University freshman year. Sophomore year, freshman class coming in, one of the girls, Natalie Piagesi, was an incoming freshman, and she was on the Seton LaSalle team. She stole that state championship from me. And of course, they put our picture of us rolling on the ground from that game, like we were fighting over a ball together. Right. From Villa and Seton LaSalle, and they had that picture on my door when she came to visit. I was like, "Are you kidding me? Way to bring it up."
Yeah. Well,
but then she ended up being in my wedding. Aww. And it's just like full circle. The people you meet with sports is so cool. And so even though it was devastating, it turned out to be okay. I still love her.
It's okay.
Yeah.
We'll let it slide.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. That's really cool though. Full circle moment, right? For you guys to be able to have that, connection together.
Yeah.
It's like baseball for us when we played McDowell. Like on the field, that's our rival. That's who we're playing against.
Oh yeah.
In a couple months when it was summer, they were on our travel team together. So
exactly. And talking about that, I mean, Mercyhurst was our rival. Yeah. So we were still playing against them in those days. And they ended up beating us the year we went to states. And our coach...
They had really good teams.
They did. Yeah. They did. And they went to states a few of those years as well. And it was like, it was devastating to lose to our rivals. But it was like, you know what? It's just a game, and our focus is winning a state championship, which we did. Yeah. And they did not. Yeah.
So we have that out there.
But I will say, those girls on that team were my rivals. Like, we couldn't stand each other, and they'll say that too. But then once we got to college, a couple of them went to Gannon, so they were my rivals then. Yeah. But over the summer, we'd play together, pick up, and then now I'm in a golf league with a few of those girls who were on that team. And we're great friends. Yeah. And it's like, I can't believe we hated each other that much. That's just high school rivals.
Yeah.
It's fun. And then you grow up and you're like, oh, wait a second. You're a good person. I like you.
Yeah. It's like there's a reason why you were as good as you were in high school sports. Like, you were a good person and you worked hard. Yeah. That's so funny. And, basketball aside, you were telling me about one of the experiences you had when you were at Villa was when Prep and Villa first announced the merge of the two schools.
One entity.
That's
was the
right.
Big slogan.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And you were one of the students who were a part of that announcement. Can you share with us what that experience was like for you?
Oh my gosh. Talk about, like I said earlier, I always wanted to go to prep.
Yeah.
And now we're together.
Yeah.
Holy smokes. Like, this is awesome. So when we went to that conference, we kind of knew what was happening, but I guess I didn't really know how it was going to work. A lot of us were like, are we merging? Like, are we going together? Are we staying separate? We really didn't know how it was going to work. But I got invited to that conference with all the newscasts and everything, took pictures with everyone. And I thought it was so exciting.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of the Villa alum were like, what? No, we can't do that. You know how us alumni are. But
we're a special bunch.
We are. Both sides.
Both sides are a special bunch.
But I was excited about it. I really was. I was excited because I always grew up loving prep, and I saw it as a good partnership versus something hindering for us. I knew it was going to be good.
Yeah.
So I was the last class with boys at Villa.
Okay.
So that was that freshman year. They allowed boys in with me, and then we had made that announcement. So now it was back to all girls.
Right.
And so I was the last class with boys, and which they were awesome.
Yeah.
I still am friends with a few of them, but it was so cool to actually partner up with prep.
Yeah.
And then I think it made our sports better, that experience better.
Sure.
Because we were doing the same things as prep would for their state championship teams. Now they were like treating us, I guess, I don't know if I want to say this, but like they had the money to do it now.
Sure.
Too,
And I think for you growing up saying you were going to go to prep, you were going to go to prep, you're going to go to prep, you realize, okay, I'm not going to be at prep. But then to be a part of that time, that's really special and cool that you were a student when that happened.
Yeah.
So I didn't ask you this before the podcast, so I'm assuming you're positive now, but fast forward for all these years later to fall of 2020 when prep announces that Villa's campus is going to close, prep is going to take in girls. I'm assuming there was some jealousy.
Yes, because half my cousins were going to be able to go here. Speaking of that, my cousin Angeline Terizzi, she just graduated this year, and she asked me to pin her at baccalaureate.
Yeah.
And her reasoning was because, well, I got to go to prep and Adrienne didn't. Are you kidding me? She really said that.
And then you said, well, you know what? No, I'm not going to pin.
Yeah, no. So I still did it, and I still got the new pin.
That's right.
So now I got a couple of them.
Now you got a couple of them, yeah. So when you heard the news that we were doing that move, what was your, I guess, initial reaction?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I was on my honeymoon.
Oh no.
And I couldn't believe it. And I had a Villa shirt in my bag. I wore it the whole day. I was like, I can't believe they're doing this to me. And I was like, why do you care? You don't get it. You don't get it. This is my girls. Like, they're shutting us down. So I was obviously upset. But I have the business mindset as well. And
Sure.
I know they were doing what's best for everyone.
Yeah.
The
community.
For the community, for the incoming kids. And how are we going to make this experience the best it can possibly be in Erie? And that was to put them all together.
Yeah.
And consolidate our resources. And man, the things you guys have done here is amazing. You walk around this building, and because I was in here before all these renovations.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, going to school here would be awesome.
Yeah.
It just looks like a whole different experience. And so I've heard so much good feedback from the kids who are here.
Yeah.
They love it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was like a selfish thing, of me being upset. Mostly a selfish thing. But I knew the kids were going to love it.
Yeah.
And they have loved it. And so that's what's important.
Yeah.
That's what really matters right now. So we have our experience at Villa, and that's amazing that we have that. And no regrets at all, but it's okay.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with my girls going to prep.
Yeah, it'll be all right. Yeah, really. If you didn't get to, at least your girls get to go to prep.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think me being a father of 2 boys, 2 girls, it's a different perspective as a parent to say, okay, I'll be able to have all my children come to the same school that I know is going to give them the best opportunities.
Correct.
And that could have been at the Villa campus and the prep campus, but now they're just under one roof. And I think the biggest thing you said before was consolidated resources.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's the best teachers for all the students, not, hey, one teacher's here at Prep, one teacher's here at Villa.
And for a while, they were bouncing back and forth.
Yeah, they were.
That's hard on teachers, too. You can't ask for them to do that forever. So totally get it. And the technology here, are you kidding me?
I know it.
Oh, my gosh. The computer lab and just, there's so many more opportunities and because it's together now.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for the kids.
Good. Well, I'm glad to hear that. And I figured after the initial shock settled in, just hearing, your whole story and all the listeners listening in for your background, you were probably going to end up being excited at some point.
Yes.
But yeah, we appreciate the kind words too about, you commenting on the things that we're doing here for the kids. There's one thing being on the inside of the school is you get to see how much people just care here.
Yeah.
Every decision we make, we're doing for the best interest of the kids. I mean, you could have a kid who's interested in any type of program we offer here, and we want to help them succeed however we can. So that's the one thing that you don't experience unless you're a student, is to actually see firsthand how much our staff and our teachers really care and how much they're willing to do to help the kids here.
Yeah. I will say the whole college preparatory school, you're really preparing people for college. I went to Mercyhurst University, and one of the first classes I took was, research and writing or whatever that class is called.
Yeah.
And the teacher there, her kids went to Villa. And she said, everyone had to submit a draft of their papers. She goes, don't even bother, Adrienne. I know you went to Villa. I know you know how to write.
Yeah.
I mean, are you kidding me? A college teacher saying that. And I really do believe that when we come out of these schools, we're just above the average kid. We really are.
Yeah.
We know how to present. We know how to talk in front of people. We know how to talk to adults. There are a lot of kids out there that can't even have a conversation.
And when you're in high school, you're just comparing yourself to your peers.
Correct.
So you don't really realize
you're in this little bubble.
Yeah.
Yep.
I had that same experience when I was at Slippery Rock. I'm in that same type of class, and I submit my paper, and meanwhile my peers at the time, they're struggling to even know what to do and how to do it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I did this in junior
talking
year.
About?
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. Before we move on to talking about your career, any other thoughts with Prep or Villa, anything that you want to share with us that you look back on with fond memories or anything else?
Got to talk about Sports Day a little bit. Come on.
Please do.
Oh my gosh. So I was the chair, of course.
Really?
Freshman
You were
year,
the chair of
sophomore,
Sports Day?
junior, senior. I had to. And I was all in. That was my thing. Sports Day,
Yep.
And just kind of leading the class. You're in charge of leading the whole class to try to win Sports Day. No way, freshmen never win. Sophomore year, you're still trying to figure it out. It's rare that juniors would win.
Yeah.
And that year we won.
Oh, wow.
Oh my gosh. It had been years, maybe a decade or two before a junior class won, because it was just always the senior class.
Yeah.
But we won junior year, and of course we won senior year. But those days were so much fun, and just everything around it, that tradition. I'm glad you guys keep it alive somewhat.
Yeah,
I will say it's not the same.
No, it's definitely not.
You don't have the cheer and the dance, and but those are always the best. You know, and a lot of Villa alum will talk about Sports Day because it was just one of those days that it built up. I mean, you planned that for months prior.
Right.
It was a big deal. So had to talk about that.
Well, the first year that I worked for Prep, I was over at the event center. That seniors would have been class of 2018.
Okay.
I was scheduled to work at the event center for Sports Day, and I had no idea what this was. And my boss at the time, Tom Schumacher, was like, "Just go, you'll figure it out. Don't worry, it's quite a scene."
Someone will tell you what to do.
Yeah, right. So I show up, and I had no idea what to expect, and I was amazed. It was cool to see the routine and all the things that were put together and orchestrated for this event. And I had never been a part of it or knew what Sports Day really was, other than maybe my friends mentioning it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can imagine why that's one of the
gosh.
days that really just resonates with you and other alums from Villa.
And it's really your class just getting together.
Yeah.
You are a team.
Yeah.
And that really keeps moving with you up through the classes. That we're this tight knit group,
right?
And we really were by the time of graduation. I want to say we only had 56 kids. That's why things needed to change. But But
by the way,
we're so close. We were so close. And the talking about Prep and Villa and the legacies and all that, every year for sports day, I came back.
Yeah.
I came back to watch the cheer and
That's
dance.
Cool.
Me and a couple of my cousins, we'd come down, we'd grab a coffee, come down and watch, because that's how important it was, and it was a blast.
Yeah.
So we would continue coming back. But just a few months ago at the Legacy Gala, we hadn't been in a couple of years. And so we're there, and we bring our spouses, obviously. Adam graduated from Prep, so he knows a lot of people. But Francis's wife, Haley, she is from Franklin, grew up in Franklin, so didn't grow up in this, right? And so she's a teacher out in Fairview. And their son's name is Francis the Fourth.
Right.
There's no way Francis the Fourth is not going to Prep.
Right.
Okay? He's going to Prep. But it took a while for her to understand this community and what it means to us. But at the Legacy Gala, she said, I finally get it. I get it. Just watching you two mingle and talk, and you know everyone here. Yeah. Because it's just one big community. Like that, the alumni, it's just so special, and I see it now. And I just sat there and I said, thank you for saying that. Because I think I may have lost that the past couple of years.
Yeah.
But her saying that was like, you're right. You're right. This is special. And we have this. So I want that for my kids.
Well, and the listeners can't see, I see you tearing up, and I feel like I'm
come on. Why'd you have to call me out?
Well, I feel that same too, because it's like, it's just special, and it really is. And, you
don't know until you're in it.
Yeah.
Until you've been through it, or you send your kids here. Even some parents who didn't grow up here send their kids here, and now they get it.
Yeah.
You know how special this place is.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what drives everything I do with the work I do here. And I know for you guys and your family, your commitment to the schools over the year, it's just so important. And it's the community, to your point, like being at Legacy Gala. Yeah. It's a community of people coming together to celebrate the honorees, to be able to, fellowship with one another, to be together and to celebrate what makes us special.
Yeah.
And it's Prep and Villa, our ties and our connections.
And you gave that speech at Baccalaureate, so I was there for that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, Jimmy. Listeners, if you haven't listened to his speech, go on his Facebook and listen to it, or LinkedIn, wherever he's at, because he posted it. But it was just like, yes, this is what it's all about.
Yeah.
And these kids graduating here need to know how special it was for them to come here, and how it's a privilege.
It really is.
It's a privilege. It really is. And they will find out down the road when they're trying to get a job, or they're in college and they're just ahead of their peers now, or they're trying to get a job, and you find someone who's a Prep or Villa grad, and you just have that connection, automatic connection.
Yep.
It's important and it's special.
Yeah, it really is. And that's why I tried. Thank you for saying that with Baccalaureate. I put a lot of time and thoughtful consideration on what I wanted to say. And you're thinking about who you're speaking to, which is the graduating class, but you also have all these alumni here that are pinning these kids. And I think that was some of the messages I tried to communicate, and tried to not give too much, but enough points to emphasize that we're a part of a really, really special community here as being alumni of the school. And that's something we'll forever have, is being alumni of Prep and Villa.
So true.
Yeah. Well, on that note, you want to transition?
I guess.
Well, I could sit here and talk with you for another hour about Prep and Villa stuff. But I want to talk a little about your career too, because I don't want to let that slide, that you are just doing some great things in your career, the family business, and I've been seeing you more active on LinkedIn and Facebook recently with some of the videos that you've been putting out there. I've been watching some of them, and it's interesting just the world you live in and what you have to do on a daily basis.
Yeah.
And I think, one of the questions I wanted to kind of throw out there to start this part of it is, you grew up in the family business, like you mentioned with your bio, like summers, washing cars and doing all this stuff. But I think there's also a dynamic of when you're in a family business, you don't necessarily know if that's what you want to do for sure. I guess, when did that kind of hit that this is something you want to make your career, not just what your dad and maybe brother are doing? Yeah. Like, this is for you.
So like I said, I grew up working in the business. So it was always part of my life, but I think I always said, I want to be a funeral director, just like my dad. Just like I said, we are so close, clearly I'm still working with him. But growing up seeing him take care of families, you know? We'd be out at dinner and a family would come up to him, thank you so much for everything you did for my mom. And you just hear that over and over and you're like, wow, that's meaningful work.
Yeah.
That means something.
Yeah.
And families appreciate that. And you're there for them in like the worst times of their lives. And it's not a career for everyone, but it is, it's really, when I have kids coming in, I have the prep class come in every once in a while and I give a talk to them about the career, but it's not for everyone. It's truly a calling. I just happen to grow up in it.
Yeah.
But it's just every day there's a family who's just appreciative. And at the end of the day, you're making a meaningful impact on this family. So that's why I was attracted to it, because I think I wanted to do something meaningful, something really that just makes an impact on everyone and the whole community. And so that's important to us, is really just taking care of a family and doing it the best that we can and guiding them through the grieving process in whatever ways they're comfortable with versus what everyone wants them to do, whatever you're comfortable with. You know, do you want to have a funeral? Or maybe let's have one in a month or two, you know? Everyone's different. And that's the other part about it, is that every day is different in this career. Oh my gosh, every day's different. I mean, I could have my whole day planned out today, but last night I get a death call. And so my day has just changed. It's all different now. Just every day is different, one day at a time. But so again, I think I always knew growing up, but it wasn't until like junior year of college that it was, okay, you really have to decide. I was in business and marketing, double major. And so of course those things can be used at the funeral home. But do I want to go to mortuary school with my brother, or do I want to go a different career? Because I did a whole bunch of different internships. I didn't work at the funeral home during the summers during college because I wanted to try new things. I worked at Modern Industries. I worked at more research. So I did different things. But in the end, I think I always knew that I'm a people person, and I wanted a lot of this job. People think it's about taking care of the decedent, which a lot of it is, but the majority of it is talking to families and just walking with them and guiding them. And I think I'm good at it. I don't know. Some people say I am.
Yeah, I can imagine so. You definitely are a people person, but you've mentioned, your faith. We talked about, you mentioned that a little bit just way earlier in the podcast. You mentioned this being a calling.
Yeah.
I can imagine that being in that environment, working with families in their toughest times, can be draining emotionally.
Absolutely.
That if you don't have that faith aspect of your life being the most important part of it, you probably wouldn't be able to get through to the next day if that's all you're just doing without the faith aspect of it, right?
100%. 100%. A lot of people ask me, I don't know how you do this every day. And number one, if I didn't have my faith, oh my gosh, I'd be so burned out by just dealing with people's emotions every day. There's no way I could do this anymore.
Right.
But I just am always bad days, hard times, a young person who passed away, a baby that I'm taking care of. Because people forget about that. It's not just the 80, 90-year-olds who are passing away. It's top to bottom. And I mean, those days are harder, the babies, especially when I have to go home to my baby.
Right.
But I'll tell you what, God is good. He is so good. I mean, it just, some days, I've had some days where it's too much.
Yeah.
I go across the street to St. Joe's and I sit before the Blessed Sacrament.
Yeah.
Before Jesus himself. And I say, God, giving this to you. It's a bad day, but I know you're going to get me through it. And I'm just helping this family.
Yeah.
And then I come back and I'm like, all right, come on, shake it off, Adrienne. Get back to business, do some paperwork, mindless stuff. And then you go back to the family. So, man, God is so good.
But what a testimony you can share with those families and with anybody who asks you, how do you do this every day? How do you do this? And you point to Jesus. I mean, what a testimony that you can share with people that is going to resonate differently with the work you do than my experiences and what I could be doing. Like, everyone has a testimony that is important and it's valuable, and we should share that with the world when those conversations arise. But what an opportunity you have that God's using you and your family to reach people
Yeah.
and to comfort them in their most difficult times. I know we've been with your funeral home a few times as well with family members who have passed away, and you don't realize how important those moments are until you're dealing with a family like yours and you guys are helping take care of us in the way that you do. You just have a different understanding when you firsthand go through it. That, wow, this is what you do all the time for people. And I just want to say, for our family, we appreciate everything you guys have done for us, and for the community and your family's heart to serve.
I will say, when a family chooses us, that means the world to us. That they're putting their loved one in our care.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think people think of it that way, but we do. That, wow, they're choosing us.
Yeah.
And I don't want it to be by default. I want them to know that they trust us, and in their gut, I want Adrienne to take care of us. Like that's important to us. And it's always an honor when a family does choose us, especially our prep and billet people.
Of course.
Someone recently put in the obituary at the end, like when you say friends may call at Kloecker Funeral Home, whatever. As a true prep graduate, visiting hours will be at Kloecker Funeral Home. I was like, did he really put that in there? Awesome. I mean, that's what I'm talking about. Come on. Can't have better advertising than that.
Yeah, that's right.
But,
Got a roll Ramblers in there.
Oh my gosh. I think it did say that in there somewhere. But it just was,
funny.
It's really an honor when a family chooses us. It's so important, and I don't think families, realize how, we always go with Kloeckers. Okay. But when it's someone that we know, like we love your family, and when you're showing your love back to us, and that we always appreciate it. We really do. And it's an honor to take care of people that we know.
What other things do you think people maybe don't understand about the work that you do as a funeral director and helping families? Or is there things that, I don't know, you'd like to share with people about the work you do, like beyond just the hard aspect of it? Like, what are some of the challenges of the work you do? What are some of the positives, like, you enjoy the most? You kind of talked about that a little bit, but is there anything additional you'd like to add in there about maybe some things that we don't think about? Yeah, the everydayness of it.
So I just did a video on this, but I'll talk about it a little bit. The background of the business, just preparing bodies and trying to make them look as natural as possible. I will give Francis a shout out here. He does a lot of our cosmetics, a lot of our dressing, casketing, making sure the people look as best as they can. He's amazing at it. He won the award at mortuary school, not me. I won the business award because that's my side of the thing. But I do everything start to finish. And I think a lot of people just see me on the front end, being the spokesperson, I guess, but also meeting with families. But I do the start to finish. And that moment of the family walking in is so important to us, and making sure that their loved one looks as natural as possible. I mean, there's nothing. So that's like the most stressful part, is hoping that they are okay with everything and how everything looks. But then when a family says, oh my gosh, she looks 10 years younger. She looks so much better than she did. Those past 2 years were so hard watching her, mom go downhill like that, and you just made her look back to her normal self. That is the best compliment we can get. And it means the world to us, honestly. Yeah. Because it's like, okay, I could do that for the family, So there's like some background things that I don't think a lot of people think that we care that much about.
Because I wouldn't think about that as much.
Exactly.
You just show up, in a sense. I don't want to sound like cold. You just kind of show up because you're just emotionally going through a lot. You're not thinking about that as much of what you just did to help get to this point. But it does make a huge difference to somebody just stopping by to say hello to somebody they once knew, to the closest family member that person had. Yeah.
So we really focus on that. I will say that. We really focus on that. And it's the biggest compliment when a family says, wow, you really made her look great. Perfect. That's what we wanted, know. But obviously the service side of it, and creating a memorial, something that really helps the family through the grieving process. Yeah. I always say at the end of my services, this isn't the end of the grieving process, the funeral. It's the beginning. And for anyone who's out there listening, continue to reach out to your friends who have lost someone, because they're still going through it. It may have been years ago. It may have just been a month ago that they lost someone, but they're still going through grief. And those little texts and calls really mean something to a family. So give them a shout out.
And it is sad that sometimes it takes those moments to remember that, but it also are those moments in which we remember that. So I don't want to downplay it, but those are times that it is good to reflect on life and just reach out to those people that you maybe haven't thought of in a long time. And you know, I'm glad you guys take that time to acknowledge that and remind others to do the same.
Yeah.
Now, working in a family business, how's that dynamic? I mean, I know you
so
guys
fun.
are a close-knit bunch over there.
Oh, yeah.
But between your dad and your brother, I'm sure there's great fun times, and there's other times you guys want to wring each other's necks, you know?
Yeah, you got it. You hit the nail on the head. You know, a lot of people, like I said earlier, people say, I don't know how you do this. And some people ask, do you guys do therapy? You know, is there something like a support system for funeral directors? Yeah,
that makes sense.
And no, we don't. But we are lucky enough to have our family with us. When times are tough, my dad and I and my brother, we cry to each other, whatever.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Right.
We are very emotional, if you couldn't tell already. But, you know, it just, we have each other, and we complain to each other, and we cry together, we get mad together. It's just, we're lucky to have each other.
Yeah.
And some other funeral homes or families don't have that. People don't have that as funeral directors. So, yeah, the family dynamic is always fun, and I'm sure this is in every family business. But, you know, we have our riffs and serious talks, and then the next day I'm at my dad's pool, and we're just hanging out.
Right, yeah.
Hey, Dad, I talked to this family the other day. You know, we're at the pool talking about it. Probably shouldn't be talking business, but that's the way it goes.
Right,
you know, it's just, it's awesome to have your family in it, and we're a team.
Yeah.
And everything we do is for each other, and, you know, we take care of each other.
That's awesome.
It's cool.
Yeah. And I've known you, like we mentioned earlier in the podcast, I've known your family for a long time. You guys have always just seemed like a close-knit group, which is so cool. And something that Amber and I, we want our family to always be just this close-knit group that goes through life together with our kids as they're adults. So it's so cool to see that relationship for you guys now with your dad and, you know, your mom and everything. It's special and it is unique. And faith being at the center of it, obviously being the most important.
It really is.
Yeah.
It really is. You know, like we said earlier, I'm really involved at St. George. I'm on a couple committees there. I get talked into everything, except for when you asked me.
Legacy Gal.
Except when you asked me to be on a committee, I said, please just ask Francis for once. But faith is so important to me. And now, right now, this stage in life is really hard with the kids and you know, dragging them all to church. But I know that my upbringing it made me the person I am today, and I want that for my kids. And I know how important the Eucharist is and that food for the journey that week. And every time I go up to communion and I'm holding one of my babies, Anne will say, I want some. Can I have some of that? I want a snack. Like, you're not old enough.
Not yet.
Not yet, but you will be someday. But that food for the journey, and it's so important. I wish I could go more times during the week, but my schedule, when I was younger, I would.
Yeah.
But with the kids and everything, it's hard. But that's so important, and faith gets you through everything. And we do talk about this all the time. Like, how do people with no faith do it? Do anything?
Yeah.
I don't understand, and I don't think I ever will. And I thank God I don't have to understand that.
I was going to say,
because I grew up with such strong faith with our whole Campbell family and the Kloecker family. Like, it's just been ingrained in us. You know, the cradle Catholic. That's a term. But that's what I've been, and that's all I've known, and that's all I ever want to know. Yeah.
Well, I think that's exactly right. People who don't have faith just don't even know what they're missing because they've never been exposed to it the ways that you and I have.
Yeah.
And so my prayer for those people is that they get led to opportunities to be exposed to the gospel and have that opportunity of realizing what they're missing in their life is Jesus. You know, that hole that they feel in their heart is the Lord calling them.
And I do think hard times are even harder when you don't have faith.
Yeah.
And I see it in my career every day when a family is in front of me, because we serve all faiths.
Right.
Or no faith.
Sure.
You know, I do services all the time for people who don't have a priest, pastor, anything like that. I do a funeral service. And I write it and I ask them, do you want prayers involved? And sometimes they say no.
Yeah.
And that's okay too.
Right.
But I continue to pray for this family. And I really do. And I don't just say that. I pray for the families that we're taking care of.
Yeah.
Because that's important and they're going through something,
Right.
obviously. But it's like some people don't have that. And you can tell a family who doesn't have any faith takes the death 10 times harder than a family who does have faith. So that's just so important to us in everything that we do. Even if a family doesn't have faith, everything we do is rooted in Jesus.
Yeah.
And ministering to people. This
Right.
is an important ministry. Father Mike DeMartinez, when he does some of his homilies, every once in a while will give us a shout out in a funeral mass saying, Joseph of Arimathea was kind of like the mortician. He took down Jesus' body
Yeah.
and buried him. And that's what the Kloeckers are doing here. Thank you to the Kloeckers. Oh, thank you, Father Mike, for calling us out. But it's like it's important, and someone has to do it.
Right.
And we're blessed that we are the ones who get to do it for families.
Right. Well, and staying on the same theme of talking about faith, and you were mentioning earlier about the committees you've been involved in, or some not involved in. We've mentioned the Erie Catholic School Board, you being a part of that. The Sisters of St. Joseph Mission and Ministry, St. George Parish. It almost goes without saying, but I'll ask the question anyway. Why is service to the community so important to you? Right? I think we've covered a lot of that.
We have.
But if you can talk a little bit more maybe about your involvement with those boards, what it's like serving and learning. I mean, you've been a part of those missions. So now being as part of a leadership team to help the direction of those. If you can maybe talk to us a little bit about your involvement in those groups.
That's kind of cool that you said that, because I haven't really thought about it. That I've been a part of these missions. Erie Catholic, Sisters of St. Joseph. I didn't go to St. George. I'm a traitor. But that's interesting that you put it that way. And now I'm in leadership on them. But I do pick and choose what I can't be involved in everything. I'm sorry, Jimmy. I can't do it.
I'll get you.
Maybe someday.
I'll get you for something.
You will, I'm sure. But I grew up, my grandfather, if I know no one's going to look up his obit, but if you did, because I was only 7 when he passed away, but he was involved, I want to say 50 different organizations. I mean, it's insane.
Wow.
God bless my grandmother for putting up with that, because you're gone all the time. But then my dad followed in his footsteps, involved in Cathedral Prep, Erie Saints, Erie Irish, Villa, Blessed Sacrament. He's the president of the Ushers right now. He's still involved.
It's amazing.
He can't get away.
I think he was involved when you and I were there.
Yes, he was the athletic director or in charge of the gym, whatever. He just can't stop. But I just grew up knowing that you get involved.
Yeah.
And, I was reading something the other day that it's like 7% of a church's community, 7% of them are the ones who do everything.
Wow.
And if you think back to Blessed Sacrament, it was those same people doing everything, working every event, being an usher at church. Like, it's the same people.
Yeah.
Now, I don't want it to be that way, but that's important to me, to give back and to get involved. And I say I don't have a lot of money to give. I wish I had millions to give money, because that's important too. But I have some time to give. Yeah. And that's my gift back to the church in all my ministries. Everything I'm involved in, has to do with the church. But it's cool to give back to the sisters. We take care of a lot of them through the business. But it's just, I see Sister Mary Drexler every time I'm out there, and she was my principal when I was at Villa, and I still have those connections with all of them, which is awesome. Then the Erie Catholic, so obviously I'm on the board, and the decision to shut down Blessed Sacrament. Yeah. I went home and cried. I'm sure. Not gonna lie. Yeah. It's hard. It's hard, but I again understand. I don't want to say the business side of it, but it is. Yeah. And we couldn't sustain for the future to be the best that we can be. It had to happen, and it was hard. It was sad. It was hard. Yeah. But I think it taught me a lot too, how making hard decisions, and the process of going through that, and then the backlash of community, and the Prep and Villa went through that, but it's okay, and we'll get through it, and it will be better for my kids, future kids to come. Right. That's the goal here. How do we keep this going as long as we possibly can? So, and keep, spreading Jesus' message to the world, because that's what these schools do.
Yep.
So.
And you realize exactly that. The mission is the most important above all else. And as long as we keep that at the forefront of what we do, of keeping the mission first, tough decisions will follow. Happy decisions will follow. There'll be a lot of things that will happen because of that. But as long as we keep the mission first and foremost, I think the Lord will honor that. Those things.
God is good. He always provides.
So give everyone a challenge of serving in their community more, our listeners, because I'm sure there's some people who they hear you and your schedule and your heart for service, and maybe there's people listening that aren't necessarily involved in organizations or otherwise. Share with them why they should be in terms of maybe they're in a situation like you and me. I got a bunch of kids and I'm working full time. I don't feel like I have time or money to give right now. How do I even do this? What would you say?
I would say try one thing out. Start with one. Start with one. And if it doesn't work out, that's okay. Step back. Try something else out. It's not for everyone. I will say that. It's hard trying to keep the schedule. But try one thing, even if it's just getting involved in one little group at your church, maybe. Or your kids are involved at a school. Can you join a little board or PTO or something that just... You don't have to be leadership.
Right, that's what I was going to say.
Just be involved.
Yes.
And work a fundraiser or something, I feel like a lot of times it's like, sell tickets, sell this, sell that. That's hard. But that's not for everyone either. How about just help out at the event?
Yeah.
There's something for everyone out there. And it's just a lot. I know a lot of organizations are having trouble getting people to help.
Yeah.
So find something that you're passionate about. That goes a long way. When you're passionate about something, then it's not hard to do.
Yeah.
Because you want to help and you want to get involved. And I will say to the leaders of these boards or organizations, it starts by actually asking. It's hard for people to come out and just do it.
Yeah.
To say, hey, I'd like to be involved. That's hard to make that first phone call. But if you know someone, reach out to them and say, hey, no pressure. I'm wondering if you're interested in being involved here. Like, that's huge, just to ask someone. Then they feel like, oh my gosh, I'm wanted.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to feel wanted.
Right.
So I think it goes both ways a little bit.
I would agree. I think it does go both ways. And it's amazing. To your point, you don't necessarily have to even just jump into a leadership role.
No.
Organizations are looking for help in whatever you have willing to offer. Because if you're just one of 10 people who can help once a month, well, that's 10 more people once a month that they can have to rotate into what they need done. But to your point on the other end too, as leaders, we need to be able to willing to ask people, and if they say yes or no, that's okay. But at least making that call and that attempt to be willing to put yourself out there too, to get people on a committee, for example. Yeah. I
did join another committee.
Of course you did.
I did at Mercer's University. They're trying to put something together, like a fundraiser thing, and for athletics. I'm like, okay, I can give back because I really don't do anything up at my alma mater.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess I can. My husband's gonna kill me.
Of course he will. He's just finding out listening to this.
Yes, he
is. Well, we have a couple more minutes here before. I don't want to call it a time limit, but we start to
talk too much.
That's right. So I got two quick questions for you. First one, what advice would you give to young women who are trying to find their career path, trying to grow in their career? For those women that are listening to this episode, what advice would you give them?
I would say, I feel like this is so cliche, but find something you're passionate about. And I said that earlier, but it's especially as women, okay? Most of us women are going to grow up and get married and have kids. Like, that's just a part of us. That's womanhood. You want to have kids and be a mother. And so if you don't find something you're passionate about, once you have kids, you're not going to want to go to work. I'm telling you that. You're going to want to stay home, which is fine too.
Yeah.
Because a lot of us are called to be stay-at-home moms, and that is a whole separate obstacle. I don't think I could do it, honestly.
Yeah.
That's very challenging. I was just with my kids for a week. I needed to go back to work. No, I love my kids, but I also have a passionate career.
Yes,
so,
right.
And that's okay too. But I would say, young women, find something you are actually passionate about, because when it comes time to have kids, actually, grow a family. If you're not passionate about it, you're not going to last, and you're going to burn out and not want to do it anymore. So, and maybe that's okay too. Maybe God's just calling you to do a short career.
Right.
But, so yeah, find something you're passionate about, something that at the end of the day, you made a difference. And again, it's so cliche, but it's so true. That's why a lot of women become teachers, because you are molding young people, and you can be passionate about that and see the success through them. But yeah, I guess that would be my advice.
Awesome. I really like that. I think that's applicable to not just young women, but anybody.
I guess, yeah.
When you find something that's passionate about, it makes it easier to actually want to go to work or pursue this, do that, and to strive for the next level in your career and whatnot.
Yeah.
All right, last question for you. It's a fun one. I ask all the alumni at the end of the episodes this one. But if you could go back in time and knowing what you know now and speak at your graduation for Villa, what would you say to your classmates at that time?
I actually did speak to my classmates.
That's so cool. I've had 3 people on the podcast that they've said that. I've had that same thing. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. Yeah. Okay, so a revised speech.
There we go, revised
now, knowing
speech.
what you know. Yeah.
I love it.
Of course, you did speak, by the way, at your graduation.
I did.
No surprise at all. I should have assumed, actually, you were the speaker. Yeah.
What would I say to my class? We were just such a small, close-knit group. And even with, shout out to my class, let's make a huge comeback for the next alumni weekend. Come on, we got to make a show out for it.
That's right.
Because I think we're all in that stage right now that it's hard to get there.
Yeah.
This is like a rough patch here. And then once we get older and we're retired, then we'll come.
Yeah, of course.
What would I say? I don't know. I just remember how special this was. Because now we know it's gone. Phil is gone.
Yeah.
So just know that this place is special, and it will always mean something to us, this community. And give back in time, treasure. What's the other one?
I can't think of it on the spot.
Oh, son of a gun. But yeah, give back. And I'm not just saying money to Prep and Villa, but give your time and efforts and just speaking well about it.
Yeah.
Our words mean a lot to other people. And when we talk about our time at Villa and Prep, don't be negative. Be positive, because these kids need this still.
Absolutely.
So.
Well, Adrienne, this has been awesome having you on as a guest. I love just your passion, your heart, for Prep and Villa, for the work you do. Just your life feels like it's just a big old passion ball that you're just going around. Yeah.
I think I get that from my dad. Anything he's involved in, he's passionate about.
Anybody that knows your dad is right now nodding and saying yes. Absolutely. That's so fun. But seriously, kudos to you with the great work you're doing in the community, at work. We love your family and all the great things all you guys are doing, and the many, many other generations of Kloeckers and Kalivodas that will be coming
many
through
more
the
to
halls.
come, I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I will say, keep an eye out on my social media. I've been posting a lot of videos. I'm trying to become more present on social media. I love educating. Maybe I should have been a teacher as well. Maybe someday. But I love educating the public, and that's my goal with these videos. If you don't come to us, that's okay.
Right.
You have your funeral home you've always used, that's fine. But I just like telling people what's going on and the new things that are happening, and what to expect when something happens. And so keep an eye out for it.
Yeah, I would actually say, I watched several of your videos, and I'm glad you're doing that, because there's things you've been talking about. I'm like, oh, I didn't even realize this or that, whatever it was. But they are very educational, to your point, and it's nice to see that come through.
Thanks for the
appreciate
feedback.
you doing that. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm excited. I love doing it. So.
Yep. All right, Adrienne. Well, thanks again.
All right, you're welcome. Roll Ramblers.
Woo!
Go Villa Victors.